Yesterday, a federal appeals court heard oral arguments from attorneys representing the Department of Justice and Washington State on whether Trump's travel ban against citizens from 7 mostly Muslim countries should be reinstated. The 3-judge panel questioned attorneys for over an hour and said they would rule sometime this week. Trump's lawyers said the order was not a Muslim ban, but was derived from a list of countries the Obama administration created.
The executive order at issue puts a temporary pause on entry for individuals from 7 countries that Congress and the last president determined, in a similar context, pose special risks in terms of terrorist infiltration into our country.
The attorney representing Washington State emphasized the need for the court to oversee what the White House was doing.
It has always been the judicial branch's role to say what the law is and to serve as a check on abuses by the executive branch. That judicial role has never been more important in recent memory than it is today. But the president is asking this court to abdicate that role here.
Trump earlier in the day said he was confident he would win and expressed dismay that his executive order would even be challenged in court.
We need this court case. It would be very helpful to keeping the wrong people out of our country. I actually can't believe that we're having to fight to protect the security in a court system, to protect the security of our nation. I can't even believe it. ISIS said we are going to infiltrate the United States and other countries through the migration. And then we're not allowed to be tough on the people coming in? Explain that one.
Is it going to go to the Supreme Court, you think?
Good. We will see. Hopefully it doesn't have to. It's common sense. You know, some things are law, and I'm all in favor of that. And some things are common sense. This is common sense.
Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly took the blame for the chaotic rollout, fell on his sword, over the travel ban, but insisted the current vetting process for travelers coming into the United States is weak and threatens the security of Americans.
I should have delayed it just a bit so that I could talk to members of Congress, particularly the leadership of committees like this, to prepare them for what was coming. I can tell you, because my people tell me, that for the last number of years, the vetting is at best loose. I believe the vetting on the other end right now is not adequate to protect the nation.
Still with me is Congressman Bobby Scott of Virginia and the rest of my panel, Dr. Greg Carr and Clinton Smith III. Wow. Kelly was a soldier to the end yesterday, wasn't he? I mean, he went in there and did what a good soldier does. He took responsibility for something it seems like he found out about when he was on a plane.
Well, you know, they try to say it's not a Muslim ban. You could call it a cure for cancer. It's a Muslim ban. It targets those. And, you know, I have a problem with this that starts with the Iraq War. They said, oh, we got to protect against terrorism, protect against terrorism. We have to attack Iraq. Iraq didn't have anything to do with 9/11. Everybody, kind of the way you listen to discussion, you think that none of the hijackers came from Iraq, none. And so you have the same kind of situation here. You say, oh, we got to protect from terrorism. And you name these countries, not a single terrorist has come from these countries. All of the experts are saying you're actually enhancing terrorism. With this Muslim ban, you're making people mad, you're feeding into the dialogue of ISIS recruiting, so you're actually making things worse. But you have your Muslim ban, something that the president campaigned on, that Rudy Giuliani has kind of blurted out what the deal is. It says they want a Muslim ban but want to camouflage it a little bit so it'll be legal. It's a Muslim ban. You can't do that. And so I'm hoping that the appellate court will allow them to present the evidence of what it is, the fact that it is not anything that will enhance national security. You just can't declare it to be something in national security. You have to show it. And there's no evidence that this enhances national security. In fact, you talk to most experts, it makes things worse. And so I hope the stay remains.
Well, we just have a little bit more time. But to me, Dr. Greg, Isn't this just a propaganda rollout? I mean, isn't this what we do? There's not any nuance to it. This is step by step what is done by a leader when their entire objective is to roll out a false narrative.
Well, again, Trump's just a mouthpiece. You got to remember, Stephen Bannon, one of his pillars of his philosophy is this Christian versus Muslim war. You know, so when you look at this, and we listened to the orals last night, you know, when Judge Friedman asked the lawyer for justice, are you saying that we can't even review this? Should this even be reviewable? It was a pause, and he said, well, maybe not. Meaning what? The issue they're raising isn't the Muslim ban. The issue they're raising is the power of the presidency to actually sign these executive orders. There's an executive order being circulated now, it has leaked, which is considering adding the Muslim Brotherhood to the list of terrorist organizations. This is Steve Bannon. This was a test case. I don't think they're going to lift this. Why? Because it would create chaos. But you got to really look at the argument the government made yesterday. Their argument was about presidential authority. And see, this is setting in place for the thing that Congressman Scott is talking about, a war with Islam. And at that point, when do citizens, including African Americans named Muhammad, named Khadijah, start having to look over their shoulder because you're starting to ban organizations now, and you're looking for a fifth column that doesn't exist except in the pages of Breitbart News in the country.
Hold on.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.